We don't have anything to do with this is, I just close, I will close, sign the close. She writes words around that. She won the state speaking contest, debate contest, speaking in Georgia, because she lives in Georgia. And then she went to the national, she won national. Thank you.
That's good.
Yeah. And they had a movie on the board, so I thought you were interested. These are lots of papers, so you can keep them. Is it okay for them to keep these papers?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sure. If they, I don't know if they allow them, do they? Yeah.
Keep them, okay.
One thing is, we're doing an active investigation.
We'll put it in.
Okay.
But I just want you, I mean, I'm a strong believer that the media, the way it is now, the sheriff's office gave us the award to be the most accurate, okay? Because I like being accurate, and I like to put what is real. I don't like the way it's, I think, the way it is, and I've been to some little girl, that they do media the way they want you to do it. Media and money controls this country, this world, okay? And so, but you need to do it right, okay? And I think it's kind of one-sided.
Oh, it is.
And, and so I want us to have it the right way for you. Okay, so that's why I want to talk with you. Because you're not talking, and I know you're talking. I feel that you probably feel like I do, that they don't always have it the way they have it the way they want it to look. And I know I used to go to the police department every day and pull up the offense reports. And I saw more white crime than I saw black crime, but you would never know that when you look at the media. Okay, so that's why I want to do it, for us to do it for you. Okay, and hopefully that you would talk with us in an honest way and make it real for us, and you make it real for you. Okay, and I've heard a lot of good things about you. Ladies said you're a good person, and you're good with children. And so, with that,
One of your neighbors.
one of your neighbors, right? Names.
This is at your parents'
Mhm.
neighborhood?
Where you live?
That's in your neighborhood.
Where I live.
Where you live.
Let me see your name.
She saw the older lady, not, I said, old. But she was, things that she was seeing, we didn't say, why can't children?
Good with children.
Next door, not Sarah.
It may be, I don't know, what part.
I think you might be talking about.
I don't see her name. I don't have my glasses. They took it from my see my right.
Hold on, I got the lights on.
Okay.
And I didn't know what her name was. This was just a story yesterday when we were this morning. Now we had talked. And we had talked to the man. And of course, we asked him to be a to about your house. People, our son, for things that are happening right now, nobody was saying that you could, that's not just that you couldn't get involved.
Yeah.
But the ad keeps coming.
You're right. They're gonna bring up the past because that helps them with their investigation or the way they think, the way people think. Okay.
One thing, I mean, I ain't trying to put this out there, but you look at the Bushes and they're cocaine bags. But yet they're sitting in higher up office and but that's kind of like, oh, whatever, everybody experiences, or experiments, excuse me, but they don't want to put it like that. So.
Yeah, I have a story. I had it, read it, and heard it last night. A story on, I think it's heroin. They're saying that people get addicted to heroin because of the medication they take, certain medication.
Certain medication.
So I don't know about cocaine. I don't know anything about any drugs except what I read.
Yeah,
But look it up.
I will describe, what they're talking about, which would be oxycodone.
Right, that was it. That's that's one of them that they talk about.
That's it.
Were you ever on any medications?
That's
That's when you were on.
currently.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was due to a couple car accidents and recently 2 motorcycle accidents.
Really?
Yeah.
So you feel blessed because you've gotten through those accidents.
Yes.
Well, in a sense. Okay.
So you have prescriptions?
Prescription, yeah.
So you're still on the medication?
No, they can't do that.
They can't give you medication?
Not that.
Without a doctor?
Not that.
God,
Really? So
I
what
don't
do
think
they do?
so. They can't do that in their country. No.
They have you can see medical and then.
You don't
They'll
have a
adjust
medical
your
doctor?
medication.
They don't give you?
They'll talk to you, but I don't think they give you that.
They don't know what kind they give you. They may
No,
give
they
you
don't
something.
that.
They don't give you any kind.
But it's been
Aspirin, they-
Really? You have pain? No.
Going from, 30 milligrams of that and, morphine occasionally, that I was prescribed both of those for nothing. So it is sometimes sleepless nights, but, I'm okay.
Is it a doctor that you prescribe it? The last doctor that prescribed it?
I can't even remember his name. So many names lately, and his name has always been, it was a funny one for me to pronounce.
Right. You know, we have so many foreign doctors, all mine are. You know, and it's puzzling to me because my brother, my cousin, my ex-husband, they're all MDs. And and I hired 2 guys to work for my husband, and they were all had to go to another country. They were from another country. But they had to go to medical school here before they could be qualified as a physician. So I'm wondering if all these people are going to all these medical schools, because there's so many of them
Yeah.
that are foreigners.
Mm.
You know?
You know, we gotta ask, are you involved?
Was I involved with this? I
Not-
mean, obviously, I was
He's
the
involved.
last person.
Yeah.
You were the last person to see it.
I was the one that was taking care of it.
And you were going to pick her up from work.
Yeah.
What happened to the little girls? How did she get over? Her big sister.
How was she?
Where did she, what happened? Yeah, she got
She got out of the car, she, had my phone and all, and she was playing on it, playing.
Oh, yeah, that's
Like
different.
little Tom, cat.
Yeah, that's
Smack around the cat, poke the cat, all that stuff, Angry Birds, and she, got out the car, and, came inside real quick, and, it's like I parked right in front of the apartment, maybe 15 feet from the door. She came inside, and I put on a ladder for her, all that stuff, and, was telling my roommate to go ahead and watch her while I went. I picked up the mom.
Okay, so you lived in your apartment?
Yeah.
They all shared your apartment?
We all shared,
Oh, okay.
apartment.
Okay. And she was in the house, she didn't come out when you came out?
She came inside and, told me that she was scared, and I was like, all right, we'll just stay here, turn on the, I already had the TV was already playing from a movie I had watched earlier, and, I just switched it over, pressed the button, switched it to the, Aladdin that was on our hard drive, and she watched that about 1,000 times a day.
I know how they do that.
It goes between all 3 of them.
Right, kids do that. I wrote the first book for Black parents on child care.
Yeah.
And I stopped at 5 years old. Because I know how they are. Yeah.
Another place in Boston, but you had any idea who might took the call?
They keep, from what I'm hearing, they're making it drug related, or they say it's too far-fetched to, I don't see it that way, because obviously I'm sitting here dealing with this, but, there is, I cooperated with them 100% from the jump.
They're thinking you don't.
Oh, I did. They know I did.
They're saying you didn't cooperate with them, you won't talk with them. And your daddy said that's, he told you to say what you know.
It's BS. They got all their information, all the stuff that, I guess these bodies that are popping up in Jacksonville, it's got nothing to do with me. But when I told them I went on Bowden Road, hit my car is real low to the ground. So
Yeah,
I
they
hit the
showed it today on with the black top.
That's it.
Right.
I hit the puddle. It was raining that whole night. Huge puddle there. It's like a drain, whatever. But it's a huge puddle. I hit that. Car started to stall out. So I ended up being there for a little bit. So
The baby was still in the back seat when you would.
everybody was there. So off of that, they went, I guess, and drained back on, and then found that car that had been sitting there for since 2003. So
So the car was there.
off of everything that I'm saying, they're going and checking all these places, and then I don't like it because it's dead bodies popping.
Right, okay, but, thank you. Saying is that everybody was in the car. The girl was part of the car,
Everybody was in the car. Yeah, at that time, this was when I left.
Oh, when you
earlier
left, so.
that night. Yeah.
Oh, okay, but it's going back, when you got out of the car. When you got
no,
back,
that was different.
that was, right. So you left the house, go back to get her, the car was gone. Right, okay. And the girl was still in the house, she was watching TV, like they do. Yeah, okay. So, when you got out of the car, you went, down the street, when you went back home, the car was missing, the girl, and the baby was missing.
Phone was, the phone was dead at the time. It was jumping and saying you got gas in time. Why did it take 8 or 9 minutes? I'm like, I'm in shape to a certain extent, but till you really get out there and get your cardio going and all that, you really don't know how out of shape you are. And, you know, when I'm trying to turn on the phone comes on, you know how it's slow to power up, all smartphones, and then I get that initial call on, and I think I had 2%, so I was on it for maybe 7 to like 10 seconds, and it cut off. So then I had to run back to the apartment to call from another phone. You know, whether it has minutes on it or not, any phone will let you do that emergency call. So as I'm charging it up, that's when I made that second emergency call. And they just say, oh, it's too long, and it's too this, it's too that, and, you know. And then they're, I guess, putting a lot of pressure on my family and friends and
Yes.
to try to get to me, and he's the key, he's this, he's that. And it's just, they've already done a, sorry to say, it's a lynching in the press. And so to speak, it's a modern day lynching in the press.
I know. We're familiar with it.
Yeah.
You know, you see, I'm staying away from as much crime because I've known a long time that it's the media controls
Yeah.
and the money controls.
Mhm.
I gotta turn back on my phone. I'm trying not to mess with it. I thought I turned it on.
And we gotta ask, ain't you have anything to do with the media? You just have to be in the car and, you know.
He went to get in the car. They wasn't there anyways.
One thing I know they don't say on the media or whatever is she cursed him out left and right.
Who's that?
That's the
girlfriend,
one.
the mother.
Yeah. Cursed him out left and right. He never do this. Baby calls me dad. I potty train him. I've been
This
there.
is what this lady was saying.
Yeah. Yeah, they see, you know, I work on, I don't have much money. You know, I was working since April of last year, 2014. When I lost my job this year, April 2015, you know, money was not really there. So it's, I did certain things to gain money, but you know, not a bad person. I still had to, you know, kids can't feed themselves. You know, she always see me out there. She see me under that car welding certain things or doing this, doing that. You know, and always had the kids with me. Well, I had my 3 kids and hers.
You had 5 kids with you?
Well, she has 3 kids. Yeah.
And you
So
too?
majority of the time, the oldest one will be still in the clinic, but I have, you know, those 5. Yeah. And another friend that also works with her, she leaves kids with me.
So you were a
Yeah,
big,
6 kids.
you had a daycare center.
Pretty much, but it's not as hard as they try to say it. They're trying to say, you know, 2 kids is a lot of pressure. No, it's not. When I'm sitting there dealing with a 7-year-old, 6-year-old, so it's not hard at all. I mean, honestly, it's I don't know, it's something like this.
From 7 to 2.
7 to 6 months.
He was 6
So,
months.
7, 6, I think 2 5-year-olds, or 7, 6, 5, 4, 2, and a 6 one though.
That's a lot of babies. You had a daycare, my mother ran a daycare,
Six.
and she would say that's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, but not only that, I mean, my roommate, he's got 6 kids himself, and 7 on the way. So, but they're not always over there.
You guys like babies.
And the chief says that you're holding some missing items, some missing information.
Who is
That
it?
you, the PS, the chief Hackman said.
Oh, okay.
Is
He's
there anything that you're not
Chief
telling them that can help them?
The chief is gonna say that, because that's his job. He's not on my side, he is totally 100% against me. And it's no way when this goes to trial, will he say one good thing about him? Except for, I'm glad his ass is locked up right now, and that's it.
Are you holding any information?
I just stopped talking to them, period, because they will twist every which word you say. When I initially talked to them, and it was a, 100, I say 95% with them when I left out certain drug deals. And then they asked me, where do you get this from? Who do you get it from? And I was looking at them like,
Well, they're trying to pack your drug packets,
That's
or
it.
job, your
I
job,
kinda
drug work.
like froze up then, and
So it's not information about the baby you're holding back, it's just information about some
about
other
that.
activities.
But when they asked me about my phone, they asked me about this, that, hey, there you go. Everything that they asked me about, they asked to search that car. I wrote off on that. They asked to look in that room, I wrote off on that. They asked for the phone, I had to write off on that. Gave them all the passwords that I could remember. The majority of the time, everything's in the phone. So I just pressed it, I told them, nothing's locked. I said, it's yours. That's it. The thing that I held back on was who came over for what, who came over to grab this, and,
And this is related to drugs, so it's not related to you and the baby.
That was it. So they saw that as, it was a lie. I told them, no, it wasn't a lie. I just told you when I said Adam came over to give me money. Oh, was that, and then they went on about that. So
Have they talked with them about drug deals?
I talked to those people, and everybody corroborated my story. And I guess now they're going off, pains and this and that, and still nothing. This is day 6, and they should have brought in their search a long time ago. You don't just sit there and our eggs are all in his basket. We're going with this. And now day 6, you're just wasting away instead of looking at these other areas and other elements that are going on. So it's almost like they're shooting themselves in the foot, because I told them from that night that it wasn't me. But they don't want to believe that.
So, the keys were in the car.
No,
When
the
they,
keys were
they
on me.
said that the keys were in the car.
That car you started up, it's got a push the button to turn on the power and the button to start. Keys were on me because I had to open the door to the house. And, yeah, the keys were on the car. The car was on,
Wow.
and the car was locked until the baby got out the car.
Because I was thinking, but they found the car.
Yeah.
Okay, did they do research? Did they search the car to see if there were any fingerprints or anything? Besides
They said
your
they-
fingerprints and your
They
family
said they
fingerprints?
searched, they said, from what I hear, they didn't find anything. They said when they found the car was still running, and, pretty much that was it. I mean, they didn't tell me too much more.
He wasn't crying or anything when you left him.
I was asleep.
I always say, he had know his name now. That's the first I've ever heard that name besides his.
Yeah.
And his daddy's.
Yeah, that's it.
Really? Okay. I'm telling you, I heard some besides him. Okay, so, but he wasn't crying when you left him in the car. Do you think it's possible that somebody might have taken him, because, there are people who want babies, and they'll steal them?
My guess is as good as anybody's right now. And, like I said, they're still painting me to be the key.
no, that's what I'm saying. Have you thought of any other things that, like
They
somebody might
say
have stolen the
that I
baby?
might have owed somebody money, or I might have had a problem with this person, maybe that's why they took my car, you know, kid, whatever. You can go out there and ask anybody,
Mhm,
and they're not gonna say that I was a problem,
mhm.
you know.
That's the good about that, they're seeing, oh, it's a new thing that you can do, that can
Right.
help in some way find it, or some way can look through it, or someone can look through it.
Do some work, I mean, stop focusing on me.
I don't want to focus on that, 'cause you were the last one that's here, like I said, you're the last one that was with the child, so we're gonna do that.
You know, that's what I want you to do, is say other possibilities that they could fall back on. I said to someone,
When,
are they still
I don't
babies?
like to, you know, point people out, but, I mean, initially, it was kind of sad to say we were hoping that the dad was the one that happened, because we're like, all right, so the dad had the baby, and her mom had told us about a week prior that, be careful, because she had talked to him,
Mhm.
and he said he was trying to follow you, from where to find out where we were saying.
Oh.
But, you know, just like I told her, just straight up, if you see, you know, headlights like this, and it looks like they're following you, try to pull over somewhere, or, you know, something to that nature, but, we really didn't think anything of it, but once that happened, that did kind of pop into our minds.
Mhm. I've never seen anything on that in the news
So
that
I
was
know you
possible.
won't. They're gonna bury that as much as possible, but, you know.
So no one, you know, if the police department has talked with your father, with her, his daddy? They had their picture in the paper and everything.
They went
but-
and talked to them, talked to him that night.
I mean, after, did you ever say to anybody else that he really, he had considered, or it was, you
We
were
told
told?
him that, right then and there.
That
And
he wanted,
she knew the address, yeah, so she, they got in touch with, is it Baker County Police?
right.
And they went out there to, Glen St. Mary, and, you know, tried to get a hold of them, and when they finally did, you know, they talked to him, kind of checked the house, whatever else.
He didn't have the baby.
You know, just that search
Mhm.
from then on.
They haven't been back with him.
I'm not sure, I'm
Yeah.
sitting here.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, she says she still loves me. I mean, I can't talk to her, but, I guess she relayed a message and said that she doesn't believe for a minute that I do that.
Right. Your neighbor said the same thing. Right. And I was hoping that whatever they can come up with, if you give us information that would help them get to the bottom of it and not keep you like if you didn't do it. No, we have enough of that.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I want to get, all the information that you can give us, that let us realize that there's something more to this,
Yeah.
that we can disperse. You know, my paper comes out tomorrow, but I have to have it finished by tomorrow. It comes out Friday morning. Right. And we're trying to get it together so we can see the other side of it. Because,
Is there any possibility that I can get a copy of that paper?
yeah, I'll make sure you get a copy. Okay.
That's not a problem.
Okay, well, how that's gonna happen is
Should I mail it to them?
you can mail it and
you?
it will
Oh.
be, it will not be allowed for you to have it inside. You're in isolation right now.
Oh,
But you can request that it be put in your property.
so you can't read it? You won't be able to read it?
Through Sergeant People, it may allow him to read it, yeah.
I'll send it to you, Melissa.
No, it would be, send it to him in regular mail.
Right. What's the mailing address?
It's 500 East Adams. Just use his name and docket number, and they'll open it, or well, actually, it'll probably only be binded, right, or wrapped.
Just fold it,
yeah.
like
Or if you want to just send it to me, I can,
we
we can do that.
Fold like this and
Yeah.
mail it. They got every
I can
week
drop
like
it off
that.
to you. I'll drop it off to you and then, yeah, we can do that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're just hoping that we can get something that will help with them, so they will have the right information. At least they would have, I don't care what the media does. you know, I do care, I really do. I will tell that tale again.
Claire cares.
I do care. I don't like the way things are distorted,
Yeah.
okay? And I don't want it
Heard a
distorted.
lot about it.
Mhm.
I actually had a friend that's, before they put me in isolation, he was in there.
Mhm.
And, you know, we got to talking about little things here and there. And, I guess he had talked to his mom. She said, you know, what's this story on the news? He said, yeah, that's my
It's
friend.
all, you can't
Yeah.
catch it, everything
So
else.
That's my friend. Tell him, what do you mean your friend? He said, oh, he's in there right now. You know him? He's a monster. It's like, no, he's not.
Yeah, that's
And then he
portrait.
said something about, well, he does drugs. Like, Mom, I do drugs.
Mhm.
He said, you know, he's gotten some domestic. He's like, what am I sitting here for? Domestic.
Mhm.
She's like, oh, well, for me, it's painting him out to be a monster. It's just like, you know, you hear it, but, I mean, what can you do?
Mhm.
It's just nothing I can do.
That's why we're here to try to help you see what can be done,
Mhm.
so they can have more information, and they can do more research,
Mhm.
you know, and we will let the public know. Right, that's why I told Melissa I wanted it exclusive, so we can let the public know
Mhm.
the other side of the story, if there's nothing, and what else is there, you know.
Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, I've been hearing a lot, but,
Mhm.
you know, they're trying to get into the background and trying to, you know, just, yeah, paint this ugly picture. But as you can see, with just my girl alone, you know, I'm not, I don't know. I've been all over, put it that way. I've been in California, Hawaii, and just got here because of family.
He's a blue Dr. Jackson.
Yeah. I mean, I was born here in '83, but I don't remember we moved in '83 to California.
Oh.
So all I know is California.
Mhm.
I was out in Northern California for about 8 years, moved to Hawaii before, and was in Southern California.
Your
before.
family was in the military?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so that travel.
So, yeah, I was there first 20-something years of my life.
Mhm.
Was on the West Coast. And came here, things was a wake up. I remember driving through something like Mobile, Alabama, and you know, all I know is from the history books, what you hear about it. You know, I'm looking, we pulled in this rickety gas station, and I seen little Confederate flags, stuff like that. It's just, I was shell shocked. I'm not used to that. I'm used to, you know, I got plenty white friends, and I got black. My roommate, he's Mexican, Hispanic. Everybody's like, how that happened? I'm like, we're both from California. You know, it's like, we're both, you know, this is just me. You know, I don't exclude people just because this, or I don't stop listening to music because it's that. You know, people look at me crazy when I say something about going to the country, you know, I'm like, well, shit, that's it.
I love country music. And classical music.
So it's just,
And church music, I play.
very, very diverse, but, and even the same thing with McClinty, it's like, you know, I just started going out there. I don't like it too much, but.
McClinty, Florida.
Yeah. But
It's
it's,
a nice job right
When the
there.
smoke all clears and it's down to the bottom line, it's going to show that you really had nothing to do with the child disappearance.
Because you didn't. Right. Okay. But all the fingers are pointed at you, and that's what I wanted to get to the bottom of, to see.
they gotta blame someone. That's it. And at this point, they think they got their, you know, golden goose or whatnot, and that's what they don't want.
Well, they say you're a smart man. You, that's what the chief said today. That you're a very good thinker, and so therefore, I don't know if he's saying you're outthinking him or not.
I'm just sitting here behind bars, that's it. Trying to exercise, trying to keep my mind straight, and trying to stay positive about this whole situation.
Do you feel positive because you feel that since you don't feel guilty, you shouldn't feel guilty if you didn't do anything?
I feel I'm more so already leaning towards my defense. And it may sound selfish, but at this point, I mean, I have nothing else but to defend myself.
Right.
And it's just, yeah, everybody wants the baby to be found and alive at that. And, you know, they say at this point, who wants to care for a baby? And I don't know, I've thought of plenty of scenarios, and I don't wanna put it in that category with Castro, that had the 3 girls for 10 years. Don't wanna put it in no category like that, but, you know, things happen, people do take babies, I mean, they take kids, they take whatever out of somebody's home, care, whatever, and, you find them years later. And it's just, I've sat in that cell and I've thought about a lot of things, but it's just,
So your feeling for is you want him found
optimistic.
alive, but you're just optimistic.
Yeah.
You're not sure what might happen, but your prayer is that he's fine, okay, if they ever find. I mean, I just saw, I don't know, I read so much, and I don't remember what I read and where I read it or where I got it from. But I found kids that are still missing, and been missing. And they talk about the little girl right here in Jacksonville that they never did find.
Yeah. And I didn't know she was from Jacksonville, but I remember when I told me that she had a member of her family that
Rick owns it, they're related,
That's it.
and that's got to be hard to think she's related to one other missing
Yeah,
child.
she came missing from where?
From here in Jacksonville?
How long ago was that?
About 5 or 6 years ago?
Yeah, a couple of years ago.
Okay.
But I think it was more, I don't think it was Jacksonville, it was like,
Lake City or
It
something?
was Florida, it was Florida.
somewhere
yeah, it was
in
Florida, somewhere
Florida
around
was
Palaca, I think.
Palaca, yeah. That's
Close, but not,
right.
yeah.
I'm from Gainesville, so that's
Yeah.
close. Palaca, Jacksonville. My mother, all my family were here from Jacksonville. My mother's the last one that was born here. She didn't have us born here. So, when I think that, well, I heard that how people will get a child. I mean, there are people, girls, young people, what's the name? Oprah's sister was taken, was away from her. She never knew she had a sister, and, but her mother had given her away. Somebody didn't take her. She wasn't taken. Her mother gave her away. And there was another girl that was in Georgia that was taken. And I don't remember how she got her name and everything else, but I heard they can go to places and get names and stuff, put on these children that they take. And then raise them as another person. So that would be better than being dead. But we need to have them found. And that's your desire to have them found alive. Right.
That's everybody's desire.
Right, I know the whole city, we want, but they're almost like saying, this is because of the time factor, it's not possible, but then you think about all these other kids who have been living.
It's almost what the media says, you hear it enough, and that's what you're gonna think.
I want to know what you were thinking about it, so I can put that in, that you were thinking there are other things that could happen.
There's plenty of it. I've thought of plenty of things and factors that could, different scenarios that could actually be possible.
And that you don't think anything dealing with your drug business?
No. It's nothing malicious or anything like that. I get a little something here and there. Here's something there. And that's just simple people that just...
But they're not angry with you for any reason to say, get him in trouble by taking the baby.
No.
But they took the car.
By this time, I know they've said it 1,000 times that it could be drug related, or I've heard it because I haven't watched any TV.
I didn't hear that.
Well, that's what my friend he said. He was on the phone with his mom. She said they think it was drug related, but it's no way possible.
Okay, but they could start the car. They were able to start the car because you had the keys.
I have to keep you don't need the keys to start. The car was already running.
Oh.
Yeah, but to start it, you don't need the keys.
Okay.
Just turn on all the power and then you just press it and there's the ignition.
So I wonder why they would leave it.
But the reason why that car was, it had been raining all night. And it's not uncommon for us to leave that car running only because we hadn't found out what was pulling so much power where it wouldn't start up. So we got like a little starter. It almost looks like a VHS tape. It's about that size, maybe a little bit smaller. It has two ground and positive tape. You just hook it up to the battery and jump start it like that.
But you had left it running.
I left it running because it had been raining all night. All I was doing was in and out. And, you know, we leave it running all the time. We'll go in the Winn-Dixie, leave it running for 20, 30 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, in the car. But no kids in the car, obviously, because
Okay.
it's hot.
I want to get that part.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we left it, you know, running before. It's just too much of a problem. I have to keep popping that hood, and you know how it is when it's hot. Florida days, summer days, to have to lift a hot hood. If I hurry up and put the little stick in just to get in there and hurry up, crank it up. You know, sometimes, you know, that jump start, if we don't recharge it, it's sitting in the car all day, it'll drain it. So then, you know, we gotta call somebody to give us a jump start. So it's been a problem in the past, I say month, and we were, you know, in the process of getting that fixed.
Yeah, I didn't have the money to, you know.
How long have you
It's been, I say, 9 months, somewhere around there.
She had her children when you met her, so you knew you were going to have a babysitting job.
I knew if I wanted to be with, I, you know, taking her kids. Yeah, picked out, it's crazy, I got 3 kids, 1 girl. We were together 12 years and not married at all. And met her, and me and her already picked out wedding rings and all.
Oh, really?
And that was it. It was just, you know when you have a connection with somebody. It was just, taking in the kids is nothing. I was in, where was it? AutoZone on Howard at the University the other day with, and the guy just looked at me and he was just, you know, this guy I was buying them little AC rechargers from. He said, "Bet you get a lot of stares." He said, "Yeah, a lot of people stare and look."
The blonde, blue eyes.
That's it. And I'm sitting there with a tank top and they see the tattoos and whatever. You know, it's just like that kid's right where it needs to be. You know, he had his little head on my shoulder, just sitting there drinking his drink or whatever, just chilling. He said, "I can tell you that kid's where it needs to be."
Really? He had on your boots. Are those your boots that he had on?
No, that's his mom's boots. I was I couldn't, I don't know why when he asked me for a picture, I could not find a picture. I had scrolled down through my phone, and I was looking up. I was so far into my phone, I seen my car picture. And as I was scrolling up, I didn't see any picture, except for him. All the kids that were laying together, and
You
I
have
sent
all
him
in your
that
phone.
picture.
You
But
have-
then I got up to the top, and I seen him in his boots.
That's a good picture. Yeah. So you keep the kids' pictures in your phone? That shows some love. I'm trying to think, Dan, we're having a good conversation. You think so?
I think so.
Okay. I just wanted to get it straight. And I want people to look at it the way it really is, instead of minds, you know, shifting to other things. And
That's human nature, so.
it is, but that's our lot. That we allowed to get started, because we didn't allow it. We came over here and that's all we had, and we had to accept